sure these things work. There we go. All right, I can hear myself now. There we go. All right. Haven't done these things solo, so we're gonna give it a shot here. But before we get started, I'm gonna pregame this game with a little bit of Jack Daniels and a little bit of Coke with a little bit of ice. So let's go ahead and open this damn bottle. Before we get started, I'm gonna pregame. We're gonna talk about Luka Doncic potential chances to make All-Star starter chances. I have a feeling about his. Just so y'all can see, I'm actually filling this damn thing up. I actually have a feeling about his actual chances because of the whole narrative that's going on around the NBA media. It's pretty interesting with all of a sudden Luka apathy that's been going on. So I'm going to get this drink going. And shout out to everybody. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. So this is going to be a short stream because I ain't trying to miss the game. I know they'll tip off at 7:10. They'll tip off at 7:10. So I'll go through the topics that I have and said thumbnail. And we'll go through them real quick. Jack Daniels always goes well with some Coke. Always goes well. All right, let's get into these topics. So the very first thing that I feel is the whole chances for Luka Doncic to be a All-Star starter. Now, when you look at it from a statistical perspective, obviously he should be a starter. It's a no-brainer that he should be a starter in the All-Star game. However, going into this season, for some reason, there's been some, some Luka apathy, some people getting tired of the Luka narrative, and I don't understand why, right? But I do understand why, because all of the major media outlets have been against Luka Doncic this season. Not against the player himself, but just against the narrative that he can't help his team win. It went from he didn't have enough teammates to now Bill Simmons is saying that he doesn't necessarily make his teammates better. So I'm wondering, is it with the basically the rising of John Morant, the rising of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, are they going to overtake Luka? Now, this should not happen. Luka is putting on a season record type numbers. He's matching what Michael Jordan did in his 5th season, and that's what Luka is doing at the same time, right? He should most definitely be a starter. Now, do I feel like there's going to be some kind of a voting thing where it seems like the coaches and the media votes more for, say, a John Morant or a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Who else can we point out in the West that would be a guard that the NBA teams or NBA players would end up not voting for Luka over? So let's think about it. John Morant. Who else in the damn West? I mean, we got John Morant, Devin Booker, right? Let me see who else. Let's look at these stats. NBA Western Conference stats. Leader stats. There we go. All right, let's look at it. So we got the player stats. We're going to look at what we got here while we take some sips here. All right. Now, for sure, in this theory, if Luka does not get picked as a starter, it would be a little bit easier in the Eastern Conference to find players that you could say deserve their first All-Star start over Luka. But when you look at it, nobody in the Western Conference should be starting over Luka. Now, I get it. We're coming up with this thing here to kind of have a topic of conversation, but I do feel it's worth having a conversation because I just have this feeling that there's going to be some shenanigans coming up, right? So I'm just trying to figure this out. All right, so In 29 games, Luka is second in points scored. Even though he's played 7 more games than Joel Embiid, Luka is averaging 32.2, while Joel Embiid is averaging 32.5. If if the highest scoring player or the second highest scoring player does not start on the Western Conference team, it makes no sense. Now, I'll get off of this topic here shortly. I will say within 7-8 minutes before the tip-off to talk about Christian Wood's potential contract extension. But I just want to delve into this topic of what I feel is going to be this mass narrative, this mass wave to not allow Luka to be a starter. So let's look at the potential starters over Luka. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he should definitely be a starter this year. He is averaging 31.2 points per game. He is shooting 33% from three, which is 1 percentage point worse than Luka. He's shooting very well from the free throw line at 93%, and he's averaging 5 rebounds and 6 assists, almost 2 steals and 1 block per game. While Luka is averaging here we got 8.3 rebounds a game, almost 9 assists per game, almost 2 steals a game, and half a block per game. So, as far as the efficiency rating, Luka is at 33.8, whereas Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is at 29.7. Shai Gilgeous is right up there as far as where Luka is at statistically, but not statistically, right? There's a level to it, but I don't think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should be a starter over Luka. Let's look at the next potential guard. And I don't know if they're going to grade Luka as a guard or a forward. So let's go ahead and let's mix the forward into this fold, right? Devin Booker, averaging 28 points per game. He lost to Luka in a blowout game. He's averaging 28 per game, 4 rebounds per game, almost 5 assists, barely 1 steal, and 0.3 blocks per game. His efficiency rating is a 25 Devin Booker should not be started over Luka Doncic. That is a definite no. If we're talking about forwards, right? No, let's keep it on the point guards. John Morant, averaging 27 points per game. What is it? 6 rebounds. I think 6 rebounds. 6 rebounds and about 8 assists per game. Those are really good stats. Really good stats. But again, when you compare it to Luka's, they're not quite there. Now, if we're going to talk about forwards, I think prior to talking about forwards, the other 3 players I mentioned, the John Morant, Devin Booker, and Shai Gilgeous, I don't think they deserve to be over Luka. Now, let's talk about the forwards, right? And you got to have stats to start over Luka. If you don't have the stats, there's no point in even having this discussion because I already know ESPN is going to run away with this entire narrative of like Luka, you got to get wins. But yet, we're like 4 games out of first place. So, say the Mavericks still have time to rack off some wins, right? They have time to get on a little win streak against the Rockets, Lakers. They play the Spurs and the Rockets again. They could go on a good little stretch right here and then make some headway to the top seeds in the West. So the record, if the Mavericks start winning, the record will look a lot better. And this narrative of Luka not being an all-star starter probably starts to go away. Anyway, so besides the point guards, we start looking at the forwards, right? The forwards that could potentially start over Luka in the Western Conference, you got to go quite a bit till you can find someone with some stats that is, I guess, worth contending against Luka's stats. You got LeBron James, 27.1 points per game, about 8 rebounds, 7 assists per game, 1 steal, almost 1 block per game, efficiency rating of 28.3. Again, none of these stats are exceeding what Luka is doing. Luka is, again, at 32 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, almost 2 steals, half a block at a 33.8 efficiency rating. Again, but again, LeBron has a way worse record than Luka, and they're about to have the head-to-head matchup. Anthony Edwards, he's averaging 23 per game. Definitely, it kind of ends right there. It should not be considered a start over Luka. And if we go down this line of players in the West, we got Jeremy Grant at 21.8 points per game. Again, I think it is safe to say that Luka, if he just stays at his pace with his current stats, he will be a starter in the All Star game. And whatever narrative y'all see coming out of ESPN, Fox Sports, Bill Simmons, whoever it is, definitely don't listen to this narrative, because this narrative is dead on arrival, because it doesn't make sense to say Luka does not deserve to be an all-star starter. All right, that is that topic. So if you missed it, definitely replay this live. But the next topic, we're going to get into it before this Mavs and Rockets game. This player should be the player tonight. We got Christian Wood's contract that I want to talk about. So Christian Wood contract extension. Let's talk about that game. And also, he's playing against the Houston Rockets. It's going to be the first time he's playing against his old team in Houston. And these are the days, these are the type of nights that you pick Christian Wood to go off in your parlays, right? If you ain't taking Christian Wood over on points, whatever, you crazy right now. So let's look into this contract extension. I'll tell you whether the Mavs should pull it off, what they should do, what I think they're going to do. But there's quite a bit of stuff here to talk about. But let's take a sip of our pregame drink. Jack Daniels and Coke just goes well together, man. All right. Christian Wood's extension decision looms as the Dallas Mavericks' future. What? Decide future? The CBA puts an extension restricted on players acquired in a trade for 6 months. Right now, the maximum the Mavericks could offer C. Wood would be a 2-year at over $30.8 million. Is that right? That we can only offer him 2 years at over $30 million? Hold on. That don't seem right. Let's see. Let's look at another thing. Christian Wood will be eligible to sign an extension. Yada, yada, yada. What we got? Talking about what he's averaging. In 29 games, he's averaging 17.2 rebounds and 17.2 points and 8 rebounds on 53% shooting from the field and 38% from three. He's shooting pretty good from the three-point line for a 7-foot player or a 6'10", whatever, however tall he is. All right, here we go. Here's some better stats right here. As early as Christmas Eve, Christian Wood will be eligible for an extension of 4 years and $77 million. Again, as early as Christmas Eve. If for some reason the Mavs don't offer an extension, or if they do offer one and Wood declines it, then trade speculation will pick up. All right. So do I think the Mavericks should offer Christian Wood an extension? Without a shadow of a doubt, do you offer this man an extension? What is $77 million in 4 years? I've been drinking, so I can't do math off the top of my head. So we're going to get the handy dandy calculator out of here. 77. Hey, Luka's number, look at that. So 19 million per year. 19 and a quarter. 19 and a quarter per year for Christian Wood. I say you do that shit in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, you sign this man ASAP. There's no point to be playing around. As a matter of fact, we need to go ahead and extend Josh Green. I am to the point where I need to submit a job application to the Mavericks front office, because it seems like these guys don't know how to manage any kind of roster, any kind of financial contract, because you seem to let go of players that definitely shouldn't be let go. You let go of Jalen Brunson. You don't extend him when you could have got him for cheap. You could have got him for $50 million for 4 years. You could have done that. So when it comes to Christian Wood, I am tired of losing talent on this team. Unless Christian Wood is going to garner 2 B+ players back, then I'm all for it. Unless Christian Wood's going to, garner a first round and an A+ player, I'm all for it. But other than that, you need to sign that man. You need to extend that man so you can have talent on this team, and then you can figure it out in the next offseason where you could find a way to trade Bertans or Tim Hardaway or whoever. You need to find a way to pair Luka with players that he could play with. And Christian Wood, he could definitely play with Luka. I think Christian Wood understands his role on this team. I think he's been a good how would we call this? A good Samaritan for the Dallas Mavericks, right? He's been doing everything they asked him to do. He's been doing everything in that regard. As far as the quotes about if he's a team player, how is he a good locker room guy? I don't want to hear that. Christian Wood is a good player for the Mavericks. He is definitely worth the 19 million because there's other players on this team that is making around 16 to 18 to 20 million that definitely ain't pulling the weight Christian Wood is pulling. Let's be honest. So I definitely think they need to go ahead and give Christian Wood that extension prior to the Christmas game. Like, go ahead and extend him. And then while you extend him, go ahead and extend Josh Green. Now, that's me right though. That's me. That is my perspective on this team, on this roster. But if it were any other person other than myself, which is going to be Nico and Mark Cuban and Jason Kidd at the helm of this, then you already know they're going to play coy. They're going to play these little mind games with Christian Wood. They're going to play these stupid little mind games with the Dallas Mavericks fans. They're going to play these stupid little mind games with Mavs Twitter. So what are the Mavericks going to do, right? Are they going to extend him or are they going to trade him? I think the Mavericks are going to overthink all of this. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm actually proven wrong because I would like to be disappointed in my own thoughts, in my own approach of what I think they're going to do. I would like to see them do something completely out of left field that improves the team. If it results in trading Christian Wood, get something back that is worth getting back for him. If you lose out on Christian Wood while you have a Luka Doncic, then you're only doing a disservice to Luka. You're only making this scenario worse for you. They're only making this difficult for the Mavs as a franchise. You're making it difficult for Luka to even want to stay here. So you definitely need to keep Christian Wood here, regardless of what it takes. But again, to my point, I think the Mavericks are going to play coy. They're going to try to stall this out and wait till they could get the right deal. And then they're going to pull the trigger on a deal. Now, will the deal be great? I hope. Will the deal be what we all think, is going to be good? I don't know. I don't know what the Mavericks are thinking. And I see I got a few comments in here. Dirk owns LeBron's. Cheers. Yes, sir. The blue one, he said they should extend him. Yes, 1,000%. For 19.25 million for 4 years, you definitely extend that, man. Jalen Brunson got more than that. And I'm not saying Christian Wood is Jalen Brunson, but there's no point in losing a talent like Christian Wood for nothing like you did with Jalen Brunson. So the Mavericks should definitely extend that, man. I might have to refill here. But yeah, man. I think I just think the Mavs be overthinking everything that it comes to the Dallas Mavericks and Christian Wood in this Mavericks roster. Do you think Wood would accept for 77? Damn, that's a good question. I think he has the talent. He has a potential talent to garner more. It's just because he's been a journeyman. He's been in Detroit. He's been, where else? Houston. He's used to be in our summer league team. I think he's gone to other teams, probably overseas as well. I think because he's been a journeyman. I think because he has a bad rap when he left Houston. And I think because the Mavericks have kept him as a bench player, making him earn his time. For me, I think he should accept it. I think it would be very smart of him to accept it because if you go into free agency and bet on yourself, it could work out like it worked out for Jalen Brunson. But at the same time, are the Mavericks going to give you that wiggle room to be able to, display your entire talents? And I think if they sign him, I think the Mavericks are more prone to go ahead and start starting him. And I think if they don't sign him, I think they're not going to let him just, blossom as far as his talents are concerned. So it's tough because if the teams can't see what you got, then are they going to pay you top dollar? You know what I'm saying? That's why the Knicks came out and paid so much money for Jalen Brunson because they saw him in the playoffs. They saw him score 40 against the Jazz and lead the Mavs to a home win for the first home win in such a long time against the Jazz. And I think that's what sold the Knicks, I guess. And I think that, on top of Pops being over there and helping Jalen Brunson get over there, Luka being hurt and giving Jalen Brunson that opportunity to lead the team is what really helped Jalen Brunson. Now, when it comes to Christian Wood, Jason Kidd does not like this man for some reason. I don't know what that reason is, but he just doesn't like that man. And unless they give him that deal, I think they would have to start him. So if I were him, I would definitely accept that 4 years for $77 million. But that's just because of all the quote unquote baggage he had, right? Christian Wood was in Milwaukee. Was Jason Kidd in Milwaukee those years? Let's look. Jason Kidd, Milwaukee Bucks coach. Interesting. So the Bucks signed Kidd after the Brooklyn Nets agreed to release him in exchange for 2 picks. When was he the coach? When? When was he hired by the Bucks? He wasn't this kid yet. Let's go to his Wikipedia so we can see when he was an actual head coach. Okay, so he was a Milwaukee Bucks head coach from 2014 to 2018. 2014 to 2018. Let's go ahead and let's look at Christian Wood teams. So, let's go ahead here. Let's see what we got. Man, you would think they would show you, they'd make this easier for you, right? But they don't. Let's go stats. There we go. All right. So, okay. So Christian Wood was with the Philadelphia 76ers in 2015-2016, Charlotte Hornets 2016-2017, the Milwaukee Bucks 2018-2019, but he did not play a lick. He did not play at all for the Bucks during this time frame. He went to New Orleans, and hold on, he did play. My bad. It looked like he only played a game or two. Yeah, he only played 2 games in Milwaukee. That's interesting. Makes you wonder, does Jason Kidd and Christian Wood have some history? So it looks like he played a game or two because he put up 25 shots, 3 for 5 from the 3, 10 for 15 from the free throw line, 20 rebounds. It looks like 2 to 3 games worth of stats in his limited action that year. That is interesting. I don't know. Could that be something that is holding up Christian Wood? Probably something behind the scene we don't know about. Exactly. Good stuff, Christian. I did not even know that he was on that team. They possibly butted heads. Was last year in Milwaukee. Kids shipped him out. Damn. That's interesting, man. We might have to do some kind of conspiracy investigation on this, because is that why he is holding this man back? I'm going to ask We Talk Mavs if they're going to do a post-game show. And if they are, I'll ask if I could jump on. I don't want to always intervene and jump on the show, but I might do that, and then I might pop that question in there to see if that's what they think. Let's look into this investigation here as to Jason Kidd was the coach at the time. But I need to look into when Jason Kidd was let go, because maybe he was let go before Christian Wood got some run. If that's the case, the blue one, if that's the case, why grab Wood in free agency? See, here's the theory. The theory is that I think Nico Harrison wanted Christian Wood, but I don't think Jason Kidd did. And I know Jason Kidd probably wanted JaVale McGee, but I'm not sure Nico Harrison did. And so you're starting to get that kind of effect of the whole, what's it called? Y'all seen that movie, that Moneyball, where the Brad Pitt starts firing or trading players, so the manager has to play the players that he has left, and Brad Pitt gets his way to get his starters so he can meet his his analytics. I think Nico's gonna have to start pulling something like that off because there's no reason as to why Christian Wood is still a bench player. Christian says Turner get a 19 mil extension. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If that's the case, Christian Wood probably should get anywhere between 17 and 19. I do think in some aspects Turner is better than Christian Wood. But if you saw Christian Wood the other night against who the hell we played the other night? Against the Timberwolves, he had crucial blocks. He said Christian Wood has crucial blocks in a couple of these last games down the stretch and critical clutch minutes, right? Christian Wood is doing his thing. And I think he's getting better, man. He is getting better. He is developing. And the more he's on the floor with Luka, the better a player he becomes. And I just really do think it is in the best interest of the Dallas Mavericks to go ahead and give this man that extension. That way you can then build around those two guys. Because I do think Christian Wood has a better ability than Kristaps Porzingis did. And I do think Christian Wood is not going to complain about touches, right? Edward, what do you say? Why don't they broadcast Mav games on Fox Sports Southwest anymore if they've been replaced by the Spurs? I think that's Bally, bro. I think that's a Bally thing. Let me see. I think Bally Sports was Bally Sports Southwest. So I don't know what the hell the difference is. I know what you're talking about when it comes to Fox Sports Southwest. I think Bally bought Southwest. Let me see. Bally Sports. And Fox Sports. Why did Fox Sports change to Bally Sports? Let's look into it. Why did Fox Sports change to Bally Sports? With only 90 days to offload Fox regional sports channels, Disney began looking for potential buyers and finally settled on Sinclair Broadcast Group. If you look into the Sinclair Group, it's pretty crazy. In a $10 billion acquisition deal between Disney and Sinclair, there was a condition that Sinclair could only use a Fox name for 18 months. Okay. So basically what I'm reading is that they basically got bought out. Why did Fox became Bally Sports thanks to a pivotal 10-year partnership. Yep. That's why, man. It seems like they got bought out with a partnership through Disney or whatever the case may be. Contracting. Yes, sir. The Blue. Edward, they broadcast Spurs on 2 channels now. I don't even know. No, I don't watch Spurs basketball, but I'm going to go to that Spurs game, the 31st. I'm going to go to that game. Pokey Bronx, a.k.a. Uncle Rico. Yo, brother. Bless us. Stop by to smash that like button. Yes, sir. Smash that like button, man. Y'all don't have to, but I appreciate it if y'all do. I know the Mavs game should be starting now. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here so y'all can enjoy that game. Hopefully, it is a Christian Wood game that goes off. And then if y'all want me to do a post-game show, I'll jump on here. If not, I'll definitely reach out to We Talk Mavs, see if I can join their stuff. Definitely check out We Talk Mavs channel. I might be on there tonight. Anyway, guys, man, I appreciate y'all checking me out. Let's go and enjoy this Mavs game. Pre-game, I'm out. Or I think I'm out. I don't know how to turn this damn thing off. Oh, I got to go and push it. Anyways, catch y'all later.